And one of the things that really comes across in your friendship with Martin, but also many other people, is the tremendous fun you have. You seem to be quite good at fun, and in particular wordplay. What's your favourite word game?
I was very lucky with Martin and others in the late 70s. We had a sort of lunch club every Friday somewhere roughly between Bloomsbury, Soho and Fleet Street, that world, where we'd all meet with Clive James and Terry Kilmartin, the translator of Proust, who was the books editor of The Observer, and a few others. And yeah, we would try and improvise word games. Do you want the inexpensive one? Because it had to start low and then build. I mean,
start medium, but let's get to the high bits.
If you change the word heart in any common poem, title or song, to the word dick.
Total Eclipse of the Dick.
Sounds cheamed at Total Eclipse of the Dick.
Yeah.
I left my dick in San Francisco. Don't go breaking my dick.
Dick Break Hotel? No.
Down at the end of Lonely Street in Dick Break Hotel, yeah. That's when your dick aches begin. The dick is a lonely hunter, so on. I can do this for quite a long time.
Yes.
But we did the hard thinking about heart dick. Then you see, you play this, it's quite puerile, you'll agree. It's pathetic to be laughing at this kind of thing. But then one day, Woody Allen is interviewed about running off with his adopted daughter and setting up house with her. And he says, well, the heart wants what it wants. Makes it all worthwhile. So then things would improve a little bit, and say the greatest player of all these games, and the man who really raised the whole level, about whom I have a whole chapter in. But by the way, the book is called Hitch 22, and it's published by Allen and Unwin. Available at fine bookstore. Yeah. I can sell it to you afterwards. The whole chapter about Salman Rushdie, who is a genius at this kind of thing. And with Salman one day, it was a dinner, and someone arrived late, having been delayed on a flight. And he said, I had a terrible time being delayed on this plane. And not only was it a bore being delayed, but there was nothing to read at the airport bookstore except Robert Ludlum stuff. And he said, and I had to buy one. And I knew it would be bad. I had no idea how bad it would be. And that didn't seem very controversial or interesting. So he went on about it, though, and said, I mean, it's the titles, these crap titles like, I don't know, the Eiger Sanction, or you know how it goes. They're so bad I can't even remember them. But you know what I'm talking about. And then, by good chance, someone said, well, what would a Shakespeare play be like if Robert Ludlum had written it? And Salman looked up like that and said, okay. And I said, all right, well, what would Hamlet be? And he said, the Elsinore Vacillation. With no more time than I gave you. And I said, well, all right, but you can't do that twice. What about Macbeth? He said, the Dunsinane Reforestation. And
so he could go on that as well.
We went on through the kerchief implication, the Rialto sanction. He's a genius. And he then invented one all of his own, which was the titles of books that didn't quite make it. Nice Try, The Big Gatsby, Good Expectations. Let me think. For Whom the Bell Rings. Mr. Zhivago. And I think I contributed at this point Portrait of a Woman, which I loved. But then he said, this I think is almost the best, 2 days in the life of Ivan Denisovich. So he can just do that, okay? But what people want, I find, is filth, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
So why don't you change the word love to fuck and see what happens there?
You have dabbled at least in some forms of verse, mainly dirty. Do you say you've got a good memory? Any limericks that spring to mind?
See, people expect filth at this point. The limerick
More filth is what
the
they
limerick
expect.
is a very capacious and elastic and subtle form. I would give you the example of the young engine driver named Hunt, who was given an engine to shunt, saw a runaway truck, by yelling out "duck," saved the life of the fellow in front. You see, I know what you wanted there.
I would like you to give us one and your dirtiest limerick to conclude, if possible.
They tend to be clerical, the really dirty ones. Was a young fellow of kings whose mind was upon higher things, but his real desire was a boy in the choir with an ass like a jelly on springs. That's not very dirty, though, but it gives you an idea. It's a curtain raiser for the anti-clerical. The Bishop of Central Japan used to roger himself with a fan. And when taxed with these acts, he replied, "It contracts and expands, rather more than a man." But you see, you can do it with almost no dirty words. That's the key thing, I think, is to keep it filthy but not smutty. A vice both obscene and unsavory holds the Bishop of Barking in slavery. With lascivious howls he deflowers young owls that he lures to an underground aviary. Okay, you want one dirty one, then. Because these are suggestive, shall we say, but not. It is said of the Bishop of Birmingham that he fucks little boys while confirming them. They kneel on the hassock, he lifts up his cassock and pumps his episcopal sperm in them. That's quite dirty, isn't it?
And on that note...
But very contemporary, I think you'll...
Indeed,
very contemporary,
indeed.
I think you'll agree. As the new Elton John song for the Vatican now goes, "Don't let your son go down on me."
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's absolutely no doubt that Australia loves Christopher Hitchens. It's wonderful to have you here.
Love him back.
Hitch 22 is the book. It will be signed in the foyer afterwards. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Christopher Hitchens.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.